and welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate.
I'm Eamon Hassan.
Hooray! And today we are talking about the top 10 scary babysitter stories part 2. But before we get into that, I want to further introduce you to our special guest, my co-host for this video. Hello, Eamon.
Hello. So I am the host on the top 10 Hindi channel, which is coming out very shortly. So that's an ode to all my South Asian viewers, all my desis out there. If you want to see all this content in Hindi and in English and everything, go over to that channel, check us out, check me out, I'll be there.
I want to watch it in Hindi. I won't understand it, but I think you're going to do a great job.
Thank you. I'll translate it for you, don't worry.
So, question, Eamon, have you ever been a babysitter?
Honestly, no, I haven't, and I haven't even attempted it because I feel like I've heard all the horror stories about things going wrong and like someone getting a call at midnight, so I'm like not even gonna try.
Yeah, to be honest, after watching The Ring, it did kind of put me off, but I did babysit for a couple of kids when I was younger, and you know what, it was fine.
Nothing happened?
Nothing scary happened. Unfortunately though, the same can't be said for the rest of the people on this list. However, before we get into this, do leave us your creepy babysitter stories. Have you had a creepy babysitter? Are you a creepy babysitter? Let us know in the comment section down below. Also, while you're down there, why don't you leave us the thumbs up? And if you guys want to connect with Eamon and I on social media, there are links to our Instagrams in the description box.
So let's get started.
There, you're kicking this off at number 10. I'm ready.
So at number 10 is this little girl. Already I'm scared and I don't want to go on, but we're gonna have to. One person shared their story of babysitting their friend's 3-year-old daughter. They said she didn't want to go to bed and kept fighting to stay up, of course, as all young people do. And the young girl asked why she had to go to bed. Classic kids always wanting to know. So the author said, like I'm sure most of us would have said, because it's late and it's a good time for little girls to go to bed. You know, a nice girl, right? The girl then pointed at an exact spot across the room and then said, but what about that little girl?
Okay, I don't like that. Little girl ghosts freak me out, and a kid seeing a dead kid? Nope.
No.
Nope.
Any ghost freaks me out, like I know.
Tiny kids. Worst ghosts.
No.
Coming into number 9, we have the Black Labrador. So I don't know how I would feel about babysitting anyone that wasn't my niece or nephew these days because, responsibility and crying and babies. But I would absolutely puppy sit. You wouldn't even actually really need to pay me to do it. Or you wouldn't have had to before I heard this story, and now I'm kind of terrified. This one was shared on Reddit by The Force Awakens. They wrote that they were asked to puppy sit. Now, let's not discriminate against human babies and dog babies here. I know this list is babysitting, but puppy sitting counts, and it's a scary story, so stick with it. Their friends had just got a puppy called Lanny, who, like my dog back at home, Bracken, is a Black Labrador. Shout out Bracken, I know you love watching the vids. Anyway, the Redditor was having a lovely chill night with Lanny, who spent most of the evening sleeping. Just after midnight, the author was getting sleepy herself, but Lanny started whining, like really whining. The author went to check the house, but Lanny stopped when she came to one particular room and would not move. There was a thud as something fell in the room that they were about to enter. When the author went in, they saw that a box had fallen off a shelf. The author decided that it was weird and maybe probably a bit of a fluke and decided to go back to sleep on the couch. The next time she woke up, the puppy was going mad, barking and growling and baring her teeth. Now this time it was 3 AM and she was truly terrified. She heard another bang from upstairs where the box had fallen, and this time it was even louder. Summoning the bravery to go on and see what was happening, the author opened the door to find the original box that had fallen off the shelf was back up upon it. Honestly, I don't know how to do. That sounds like some crazy ghost stuff, but at least she's got a puppy to look after her through it. Coming into number 8, we have the glass jar. Kids can definitely be little creeps sometimes, but the one in this story sounds like a straight up villain. One person shared their story of babysitting a little girl called Sarah. It seemed that Sarah loved her babysitter, and the sitter knew because the mum would always tell her. Cute. One day when she went to look after Sarah, the little girl turned to her and said, "When you die, I want to put you in a glass jar so I can keep you and see you forever." Thanks, Sarah. I think this will be the last time we're seeing each other, ever.
At number 7 is the baby monitor, and so this is quite a quick one, but honestly I'm terrified already. So this was posted by Reddit user ZZZZZXX, who was babysitting when they decided to check the baby monitor, as you know, any good babysitter would. And what did they see? And what they did see when they looked at it? Oh, you know, just this. Now I would be super freaked out by this demonic baby. Get me out of the house right now.
I don't like a demonic baby. I don't. And up next we have another baby monitor story for you. At number 6 we have demonic cries. I'm sensing a theme. One sitter, Shell Ashley, uploaded this footage to YouTube. Now it appears to show a baby monitor broadcasting creepy sounds. I would probably be too scared to go and check on the baby if I heard this, but I guess you kind of have to because the baby might be in peril. But what are you gonna find? Honestly, I don't want to know.
Coming in at number 5, the occult sitter. So this story was shared on Reddit in September 2018, so it was quite recently to be fair. Let's Read YouTube shared the story, which they called babysitting story number 7. The woman who wrote the post said that her next door neighbor's teenage daughter babysat her kids often, but things changed when she turned 18. Despite having always done a good job looking after the kids, the mum started getting a weird feeling from her. Red flag number 1. One day she was sitting the kids and the mum and dad left the house. As they left, they noticed the garage door was ajar. The mum called the sitter to tell her about it and she got a really weird vibe from the phone. Red flag number 2. She decided that she wanted to go home and check on the kids. Props to you, you're a great mother. But as she and her husband pulled up into the drive, they saw a man holding a knife entering their garage. He seemed spooked by them and ran off, but they called the police immediately, as any sane person would. So after calling the police, they ran inside their house to find their sitter standing among lit candles and strange symbols with their kids in the basement. Red flag 3, 4, and 5. She looked insane and was laughing manically. When the police came, they arrested the girl and found the man. They later said that the babysitter had met the man at the end of her school year, and the pair had been experimenting with drugs and learning about Satanism. The police suspected that they wanted to sacrifice the children. Red flag 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the list goes on. At number 4, the hanging. Already, this just sounds very bad, and I don't want to go into it. A sitter shared their story of looking after their friends' children while they went out for a much-deserved night together. Obviously, date night after the kids, things slowed down. I get it. Everything was going fine. The youngest, who was about 5, was entertaining themselves by doing some drawing. Later, the kid handed the sitter the drawing. It was a woman hanging from the ceiling. He looked up with wide, cute kid eyes and said, "She told me to draw this. She's coming for you. Hide." Right. Great. Well, thanks, you little creep. I'm never coming here again.
Kids, they're really creepy and they have overactive imaginations. Honestly, I think my story at number 3 is quite similar, and I hope these are just kids being crazy. I hope so. At number 3, we have the witches here. Kids are creepy, as we discussed, and yeah, they say creepy things, as we know. However, this would have shaken me. This babysitter shared their story on Reddit, where else, saying that they were tasked with looking after their 2 nieces, a 2-month-old baby and a 5-year-old little girl. The babysitter was sleeping in the baby's room in case the baby woke up at night. Unfortunately though, it isn't the baby that does the waking. The sitter then wakes up as they start to feel really cold, like really cold. All of a sudden, in their coldness, their 5-year-old niece starts screaming from the other room. The sitter ran up and found the girl sat upright with her eyes tightly closed in fear and pointing to the corner of the room, like this. When the sitter asked what was wrong, the kid kept whispering, "The witch is here," like, "The witch is here, the witch is here, the witch is here. The witch is here." Right, honestly, stop. Stop whispering the witch is here. The witch is not here. Send her back. Feeling freaked out but thankful that the baby didn't wake up, the sitter calms the niece and then returns to their original room. Only the baby was awake and seemed to be playing with someone, although there was no one there. No one except the chill. That is. Honest to God, this is probably every parent's worst nightmare, but coming in at number 2, we have the killer nanny. Something no parent ever wants to hear, ever. Marina Krim discovered something was wrong when her children's nanny failed to bring her daughter to ballet class. She sent a text and began to full-on panic when there was no reply. This was when she went to her home to look for the nanny. Where are you? Where are my kids? General things. In her court testimony, the Manhattan mother described what she found. She said, "I unlocked the door. It's just dark, and super quiet. It's just eerie," she said. I'm like, this is so weird, where are they? It's so awful, it's like a total horror movie. And honestly, I empathize, I would feel the exact same. She then found the bodies of her young son and daughter lifeless in the bath. It seems that during a 90-minute onslaught of abuse, 55-year-old Yoselin Ortega butchered the 2 children and left them to die in a bathtub. The court statement suggests that the eldest of the 2 children, 6-year-old Lucia, tried to fight back but was
overpowered by the woman. The nanny then attempted to slit her own throat, but survived and was later jailed for her crime. It seems Ortega had been with the family for a year before she committed the murders. That's just, I'm sick to my stomach with that one, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, me too. I feel like this list has got pretty real right now, and honestly really horrible. Now coming into number 1, this story involves an Irish pop star, his ex-girlfriend, and the nanny she hired. At number 1, we have the Bonfire. So former Boyzone band member Mark Walton had a child with a woman called Sabrina Cuda. They later parted and she found another man, Ossium Madoni. The pair lived together in Wimbledon in London and were very distrustful of her pop star ex. Sabrina even falsely accused him of child abuse. The woman hired Sophie Lionette, a French au pair, to look after hers and Walton's children. It seems that Miss Cuda and Mr. Maduni then turned on the shy 21-year-old French nanny and accused her of being in cahoots with Mark Walton. He was contacted and said that he actually never met the girl. Sadly, the story goes that Miss Cuda and Mr. Maduni imprisoned her and tortured the nanny, beating her, murdering her, and then trying to dispose of her body on a bonfire in their garden of their home in London. Honestly, that is truly horrendous. When Mr. Walton spoke of his ex-girlfriend, he said that she was abusive and manipulative. Honestly, this really freaks me out. The poor woman went to go and do a job and then was murdered and thrown on a bonfire. Eamon, I need you to come back because I'm sad and stressed. This was horrible! I didn't like this scary babysitter stories. I don't want to do part 3, do you?
I don't want to do part 3, and I don't want to have kids just so they don't have to go through any of this babysitting
I think that's
anything.
it. Puppies for the win.
Puppies
maybe.
for life, honestly. I can't do
Or
this.
cats.
Cats.
Hopefully next time we get to do a collaboration we can do like a nice happy fun
A fun
list.
video where it actually makes me smile and laugh and not think about everything wrong with the world.
Like, yeah, that's good, but maybe you've come to the wrong place because everyone here seems to love a spooky video, so do let us know if you like this video, and once again do let us know if you've got any scary babysitter stories. We'd love to read them, and maybe next time we do a video together we'll read out some of the comments.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Hopefully you can get some more upbeat videos on Most Amazing Hindi.
Yes, and thankfully maybe you'll screen your babysitters better before hiring them after this video.
Absolutely. So we will see you soon, and we're gonna go, I don't know, have a coffee, decompress,
Yeah.
not think about these creepy babysitters.
Bye-bye
Thanks,
now.
bye.